Hello everyone, welcome back to Infinite Rails. I've literally just told this to stay on the default weather. I don't know why it decided to stop doing that. I guess we're gonna do this and that. Hope everyone had a good holiday break. I had an excellent time at Christmas and New Year's. So today we're doing signals. If you go look at the regular signals on the map, and that's going to be over by here, they're not that good. You'll notice that having run through them a few times, they're all stuck on red. You don't want them stuck on red. We want them to actually change based on traffic. So, starting at our sawmill here in Ponderosa, we're going to work our way backwards, adding new signals. And at some point, we will hopefully have the whole map overhauled. So I did this one as kind of a test to figure out what I want to do. It's not ideal. I mean, if a train enters this control point from any track, it's going to go to red, unfortunately. Which is not really what I wanted. It's especially going to be a pain on the switching lead here. So we might edit this later. But until then, this is the template. This is... We're going to put up a sign real quick, actually. Game's being a little laggy because I haven't played it in a bit. And this is the slightly important because this helps us define what we're calling all these points. For example, if I make my way to the switch over here, it might actually be faster to do that. All of these are named CP, Pawn, West, and then a number. And specifically, it's all odd numbers facing into the control point and even numbers facing out. So let's add another sign. And then we'll go do the ones on the east end of Ponderosa, because there won't be any in the middle. Actually, we are going to do a quick pause here to acknowledge that I've been running some passenger trains, and they are no longer overpowered. If I do the max haul from here to the new point way off to the east, I get like $1,000 bucks. That's not much. I think we went out here last episode. I've added a platform since that, calling it Pottsburg. And Conductor MB5, hi! The only loco I've got right now is the starter loco, which I've currently got up in this scheme. I will be doing other locos probably in the future, but they all do get quite expensive. There are no steam locomotives in this game, so I do not have any steam locomotives. Hopefully they will add those later. So, let's get started on this control point. This is going to be CP Ponderosa East. Which means that all our little signal indicators are going to be CP Pon E. And there's going to be a lot of them. Should be 9 of them. Once we put all these down, we will have to do some editing on the other ones to account for yellow signals. I need to blow up the switch. Hang on. I don't like this. Much better. Now the game does seem to be lagging a bit. As per usual, it usually seems like the lagging gets better. It lags less the longer you play, so let's hope that holds. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and put down some signals. And then we'll start, I guess wiring them up would be the way to do it. Since all our signals only have one head, I am just doing side-by-side signals. Probably move that sign, it's a bit far forward. I'll leave it for now. I did not have much space here. We got housing right here. They are supposed to be adding some more assets to the game. So now let's go renumber all these. So CP pawn E1. CP pawn E2. They all spawn with random numbers. And I do like to try and hold this pattern. It makes it a lot easier to wire up all the signals. And then follow the pattern here. I could just do that. Yeah, that's going to make it a lot easier. Nope, I just ruined it. So, to start with, what we want is anytime a train enters this area, the signals go to red. Ideally, they would only go to red for a given track, but the problem is we also need to be able to detect if a train is going to be crossing over, and right now you cannot tie your switches to the signals. So we just have to assume that a train could go anywhere. So, we'll start with this one. It will make more sense for the yellow though. So CP pawn, nope, pawn E1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then out, it's going to detect CP pawn E6, which is that one. I better do this one. So once again, CP pawn E. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And we want you to detect going out on 8. And same thing here. This is going to be pretty repetitive. And this is an inside signal, so it's crossing over, so you will detect 8. Something wrong there. I think it got lagged. And you will detect 6. Then we'll add another yellow detector once we get signals further down. And now we do the same thing here. These ones will be detecting 2 and 4 on the yellow. So this one is 2. This one's 4. This one's going to be the opposite. Now, they're not going to detect anything at the moment because the train is stopped. We'll test them in a bit. Oh, actually, these ones we can also detect west on the yellow. So we'll need to do that. you're going to detect 2, and then you need to detect 8. So what that means is, when a train enters CP Pawnee 2, it'll go yellow, and when it exits Pawn 8, it'll go red. You need to do 6. You need to do 8. Nope, not. Wrong one. You need to do west 8. And you need to do west 6. We'll cheat and use the map to teleport. Hold is right, left click. There we go. So these ones are still the same, but these ones can now detect yellow. So let's make that happen. So 8 and 2 go together. So we do need Pawnee 2. And then we need 4. 2. And then we need 4. Alright, let's go grab our train. And we'll see if I got this right. And we'll just ignore that we've got a dozen test assistants in the car. Yeah, that's what they are. Test assistants. Clearly. So this should turn red once we enter. Yep. Should all turn back to green once we've exited, like that. There we go. So let's go look at the map. Everything is still green because they're... Oh, well, that one's yellow. Oh, because those should be yellow because they're detecting that we have gone past. So anything coming this track needs to be cautious. That is what we want. So now, what we want to do is we want to kick the brakes off. We're going to go forward on the same track. We should see this one go all red, and then we should start seeing yellows over here. Yep, all red. And then we should see 2 yellows here, and 2 yellows here. I guess we could have picked up a little more speed. Okay, so we got yellows there, and we got yellows here, because we are in this block, so it's telling anyone coming this way to be cautious. Ideally, it should probably still be red, but let's not worry about that right now. If anyone wants to give me thoughts on whether or not it should be red in this segment here, then go for it. So now we'll continue through here, and we'll see if it, again, all this turns red, and then these turn yellow. And also if these ones stop being yellow once we enter the next control point. If there was an intermediate signal here, then it might make more sense. We could divide the blocks a bit better. Let's give us a little more speed. We're coming through the station now. These ones are basically just for when the trains are working the plant, so they don't do much of this. Okay, those are all red. Those ones are still yellow. Well, actually, hang on, now they're green because we have to get through the plant. And then we'll start figuring out where we want to place signals next. Okay, that's what we wanted. So once again, these are yellow, these are green. That is perfect. So, how far do we want to place our signals? I'm not expecting to run very long trains on this map. So I am thinking, how about right in this curve, we'll do an intermediate. I think these ones are too close together. We'll probably like scrap these two and keep this pair. And let's do one here. And I'm thinking we might be building this way in the future. So maybe we don't build anything too close to this area. And then, of course, we'll have to teleport back and close the yellows on this side. There's going to be a lot of jumping around in this screen. Big cuts here. Maybe I should look at making some long pieces for him. It's probably fine. That's our curve, yeah? Yeah. So we want to go about halfway through this curve and then stop and start working on signals. Ideally, this would all be signaled for one direction. This track this way, this track the other way. But I'm challenging myself, so we're going to make it bi-directional. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, I may as well. I'm gonna have signal detectors both directions anyway. Now, do I really need signals, given that this whole map is going to be, well, actually, I'm going to move these. Given that I'm playing the signal player, well, probably not. But A, it's a fun challenge, and B, it might not stay single player forever. I really ought to see if a couple of friends from the European Training Enthusiast Club want to play. I probably shouldn't have said that. It'll spoil the question I give in my next regular video, which is coming out tomorrow night at 5 p.m. If you like model trains, I've got a video full of them for you from the Washington State History Museum's Model Train Festival in Tacoma, which took place this past week or two. A couple weeks, from before Christmas to New Year's. Alright, so, this one's not a CP. This is between, what are those places again? Worker Exchange and Ponderosa. So this one is going to be... We're going to still name these like we're running this unidirectionally, so this is going to be Ponberg 01. Oh. We can only go up to 7 characters? Ponber 1. Ponber 1. And Ponber 2. We may have to go to two characters at some point, but this will work for now. Ponber 3. Well, no, this would be Pon 2. And Ponber, or Pon 1. From Burker to Ponderosa 1. Alright. We can't actually set up the signals going this way quite yet. But we can set up the ones going this way. So this one is going to detect entry at Burpon 1. It's going to detect exit at CP Pon, what is that, 6? No. Yeah, 6. And then this one is going to detect yellow as long as it's in the plant, or in the signal plant. So once again, we need all the odds. And this is where consistent naming conventions are actually kind of useful. Meanwhile, this one is detecting Pon Bird 2 and CP Pon E8. And then it detects, again, everything that's in the control plane. I'm sure somewhere out there is Signal Engineer screen. I guess we can start rigging this one up. So this will be Ponber 1. I'm going to redo all the other ones, and this will be Burpon 2. That just sounds funny. Burp on 2. Everyone, burp on 2. 1, 2. So mature, I know. So now... let's go back to CP Ponderosa. And we can set endpoints for these yellows. That's not what I wanted. I might need to make an Excel sheet to keep track of all of this. those are going to be stuck at yellow for a while. Fortunately, there is a way to reset it without bringing the train all the way back here. And that is to go to manual, set it, mess with it, automatic. It's fixed. Technically, it should still be yellow, but I don't think it's going to detect an exit. Well, actually, it should when we go through it, so that was kind of wise. Yep, so let's go the kilometer. A little bit short of a marathon, about 25 kilometers short. And let's run through this signal. And we'll see if this turns red and the one behind us turns yellow, or comes out of the yellow. Okay, that one did turn red. And, okay, that one's still yellow. Maybe. So let's go fix that real quick. That one might just be yellow because we were in the. Oh, well, now it says it's green. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna skip the engine. We're gonna just come here and start blowing up the signals. We'll come back for our train later. Save. This one's such a short block, I kind of want to just keep it as one block the whole way through. But for now, we'll make it 2 short blocks. So in this case, it's north and south. I should probably have made the other one north and south. I'm not being consistent on timetable directions. So this one a CP per S1? No, this will be 5. Probably just place all these and number them at the same time. But since they're so close, we will set the exit signals for the yellows to go to the other control point. I can always overhaul these again later and just make it a short plan. Since these are single crossovers, I think it'll be a little easier to signal them up. Those could also be famous last words. Forgot what was going on here. Does these actually have detectors? Yeah. We're not going to deal too much with the branch at the moment. We'll put a signal there for now. The naming convention on those is, I'm still going to change it to match mine, but it's not too bad. So this is CP Burr N1, CP Burn 2, and some funny names here, aren't I? CP Burn 3, CP Burn 4, CP Burn 5, CP Burn 6, oh, that's right. So now we gotta do that. A gap, well, that works. I guess we could also have made it 0. So now we do the signals. Technically, I need 3 for this track. I think I'm just gonna do 2. And then over here we're gonna do 1, 2. We're just gonna leave that as 1. Well, can I get another one in there? Maybe? I don't know if that collision is gonna work out. Alright, here we go again. Thank you, autosave. That's a reminder to regular save. So once again, actually, before I get too far, let's also set up the ones on the south end. Already messing it up. You know what? After this, I'm just gonna say that after this, we go to shorter codes. Well, actually, how about we make that 0? Because if I'm going to need more than I'm gonna need I'm probably gonna need two-digit numbers. I don't think I'll need 3. This one might be a little harder to wire up because of the branch. We're just gonna call this Burr branch 1 and alrighty. Now let's think about how we do this. So we want it, so we want yellow this way, and exiting on the south end is where the yellow ends. So this one we need yellow on CP Burr. It'll automatically update the number. So we want it to go yellow if it enters either of those blocks, and then exits anything on the south end, which is going to be 6 or 8. And actually, I guess we need this to... Okay, so... I feel like I'm not quite doing this right. This is requiring a bit more brain power than I have for a string, but we're trying. So what do I have? 8. I need burn 0. And then I guess this is exiting. I guess this will be exiting on the south end. So that will be S6 and 8 again. That doesn't seem right. Yeah. I guess the way to do it is that this one is only going to detect yellow for this track, and this one and the other one will detect yellow on that track. Yeah, so this one will say yellow if there's a train on this track, right? Did I do that right? So this one should be 0. Yeah. And meanwhile, this one's basically just gonna be a run through. So it's gonna detect red on all those. This one will detect yellow for either platform track. Which doesn't feel like it makes a lot of sense, but... 0, 8, and then I guess I also need to detect... same on these ones, actually. Yeah. Definitely in the comments if anyone can think of a better way to do these from your own game, you are free to tell me. But for now, everything in the plant. And then this one's going to be yellow only for 6. And then that means it also only needs to detect S6. Yeah. Because it needs to detect that 6 and the other... No, I guess the other one would be 5. Oh, I'm doing my numbers wrong. I can't count. Yeah, I need... Okay, now I gotta go fix all these. Maybe I should just make this all control point, but nah. We'll fix things. So I need... 5 and 7. Yeah. 5 and 7 for exits on the yellow. Okay, now I think the north signals on this part are done. So then we add those. Let's just do this part first. Do the easy part. Do all these in the plant signals. I don't think we're going to get all the way to Thorny Lake today. We might stop at the Y. So now for yellows, you are detecting burn 4 and going to Burpon 2, I believe. Yeah. Whew! Giving my brain a workout tonight. So this one also needs to show red when a train enters here. This one I will do the 3 signals. And now it's just going to be the 1 signal, because I don't really care. This one's also just going to be... I guess this one also should be 3. Now this one can also be 2. That's right. How was I doing this again? Definitely need to start making an spreadsheet. So let's start with the tricky triple. Anything enters this block. Don't know which one that is. Let's leave that for now. Okay, no, this one's for going all the way out. So this one's a yellow detector for Burr S6. I'm sure this is riveting content for y'all. And then the middle one is C. This one is going to be for 8. This one is yellow, and there's something up the branch. Let's just start with that. Okay. So these ones should be properly set up now. Technically, they should all default to red. Now I'm going the easy direction. So... this one's going to detect 8. gonna scrap that one for now. I'm also gonna do that on this one. This one's nice and easy because it only has to detect one set. Technically, I don't even need a red for some of these. Because this one doesn't care if there's a train coming down the branch. And then this one goes to yellow for CP Burr S6. This one's going to get a little trickier. So, I'm going to start with the same thing as always. This one does need to detect the branch. We're going to detect yellow for this one if it goes down. It goes down the main one. Oh, yeah. So this one needs the text for CP Burr S 2 and 0. And then CP Burn 1 and 3. And this one again, this one only has to do this set. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm just going to leave that as automatic yellow. So now this one's detecting the left platform, so we need CP Burr as 0. And then CP Burn 1 and 3. And then this one detects the other, so this one detects Burr S2. And then Burn. Again, 1, 3. So let's go back to our other set of signals where a train is. And this one's just going to detect yellow through the first plane. Same here. And I think that should do it. So, let's hop in our train and find out. It's a good thing this thing doesn't burn gas while it's idling. And we'll stop short of the next signal plant so we can test signals. I really need to think about what the control point here would look like, which means CP burn might get a complete overhaul, because I would probably just integrate those signals with these signals. So first we're going to test going to the platform. First we'll pop into the plant and see what happens. If we look at the map, okay, those ones are still showing yellow because we're still in the plant. Yes, that's correct. These ones are red. That one's red? That one might be stuck on red. And those ones are yellow. Yes, that is correct. So now let's proceed to the platform. See if we can get out of the signal block. Okay, so now those ones are green, that one's yellow, and that one's yellow. Yes, that's what we wanted. And those are green. And down here we've still got yellows where we want them. And the one pesky red. Why are you red? I think you were already red, so we're gonna... Yeah. I think that was a base signal. So now, one more thing. Look at how much money we have. 28.65k. Look what happens if I find the... Where's the door open button? I just noticed they've got passengers misspelled in English. Look! We've made a whopping 600 grand. Or 600 bucks. That's not much. I feel like we used to make more. Alright, let's proceed outward. Okay, those all turn red, that's what we want. Those ones still yellow, yes. And those ones are still yellow. Interesting. I wonder what I did wrong there. that one's yellow, which we wanted, and that one's yellow, which we wanted. Why are you still yellow? I don't know what that was about. That would be if we went down that track. Okay, well in any case, we're just gonna ignore that. So, we're gonna delete that signal, we're gonna delete that signal, and we'll just do something with the next intermediates. So this is going to become Burr, Thorn, Thorny Lake. How about THL 1 and Burr, Thorn 2. And then this one is THL Burr 1 and THL Burr 2. So now we can go set the yellows on these control points. Okay. So let's set yellows on the reds and yellows on these. Again, within the next control point, it's all yellow. And I'm going to ignore the branch for the time being. So this one's going to have a red on CP Burr S6. This one's going to have a red on CP Burr S8. And on what is this? This is Burr THL2. Yeah, that's what we want. Just gonna reset a couple signals. And you know what? Let's at least start. Let's get these deleted, and then let's start setting up the Y. So I have this marked on the map near Ashmore Crossings. So I think we're gonna treat the Y as one block. And then when we get here, we're just gonna treat the whole yard as one block. And I think we'll just make those permanent yellows. We're going to add 3 signals here. Because the first set of signals is going to determine what goes on up to the Y. How am I going to do this? So, for our purposes, we're just going to call this ASY, CP-ASY. Okay, we'll skip the CP. ASY 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll be ASYE, ASYA. I'm sure somewhere out there, a Hyce is wondering how someone could do the signals like this. Well, we're about to find out. Also, I'm actually going to move this back so it's actually like next to the signal. Still kind of making this up as I go. This is going to be the hard one. Alright, so let's continue our pattern. This is now ASYN1, ASYN2, ASYN3, ASYN4. ASYN, nope, 6. Yeah. So what this one's going to do, this one is only there to tell us... I don't think we even need the signal. I'm going to leave it on yellow for now. This one is only there to tell us that the train did not go through this switch. Which means we can actually this one we can move closer up. Because we're still going to call it red through the rest of the interlocking otherwise. What the? I reserve the right to change all this in the future, of course. And I also reserve the right not to stream it if I do. Okay. Now what we want is... get all these in. So, we're gonna change the pattern now. I'm gonna go from this end. I might pick myself, but that's okay. So, 2, 4. Let's go figure out our signals now. So, this one is our straight ahead signal. So this one will detect all of the entries. So ASYN 1, 3, 5, 7. Is that it? I think I screwed up. I think I goofed somewhere. Hang on. Oh, because I moved this one, so... So this one will be red. For any entry. But it's not going to detect a yellow unless you exit ASYS 4. Once you exit all these, it's green. Which means I actually don't want it on 9. I don't want to pick up 9. I want to pick up south 3. Yeah? Yeah. I think so. But these other ones will pick up all of them. No way. Hang on. Okay, so like this, if anything enters the Y, it's red. You know what? I think I need to rethink how I'm doing this. I think I still want it red just for the immediate area, and then yellow for anything to the end of the Y. Does that sound correct, chat? Yeah, I think I'm overdoing this. I'm gonna have this many signals. I am overdoing this. So, we'll put you back. So, we'll just go back to being red within this part of the plant, and then yellow beyond. Scrap that and that. So this one is going to be yellow. So this one's only going to go to yellow if a train crosses AS, Y, and 10. And then it'll catch the exit on YS3. Yes. So if a train goes any other way, that signal goes to yellow. Likewise, this one's going to pick up all the ASYNs here. But it goes to yellow only for ASYN. What would that be? That would be 8. And then it's going to go to yellow. Or it'll end the yellow on YS1 or 3. this one picks up all of them. And then this one will catch the exit. And then this one's for the far one. So it's only going to pick up the yellow for ASYN 6 and ASYE 5. And this one can't pick up that, so these two are going to match 2 of those. So this one picks up ASYN 8 and ASYS 1 and 3. Up 6, and then it picks up E5. And repeat. No, you don't pick up 8. But you only catch the exit between ASY and 2, and what would that be? That would be Burr THL 1. Alright, and then this one is going to also pick up ASYN 2 and Burr THL 1. And then this one is going to catch the exit of ASYN 4 and THL Burr 2. Again, ASYN 2, Burr THL 1, obviously, if anyone else wants to play on this map and name your stuff entirely different, that is up to you, but I will say having a relatively consistent numbering schema is making this a lot easier. Alright, now we gotta do these ones. And in this case, what I'm actually gonna do, because I don't think I actually need much here. This one, if there is a train past ASYE 6, this is yellow. Pure and simple. Now for this one, it gets a little harder. Basically, what we want, we can be a little more picky on this. So, left turnout. It's going to be red until it gets to here, and then it'll be yellow. So that's ASY 8, or ASYS 8. I guess I do want that as 3. But then it's going to be yellow for ASYE4. Hang on. No, 2. To ASYS8. Missed. And then this one's ASYE4. To ASYN6. I'm not actually 100% sure I'm going to be using all of the things I put down. So if the train goes that way, this one goes to green. If the train goes that way, this one goes to green. So now we mess with all these signals. And I'm gonna change some positions. So we need 2 signals here. We need 2 signals here. And we need 1 signal up here. And then we need 2 and 2. Well, we need 3 and 2. Really, we shouldn't have to worry about trains entering any of these. Or entering from that track. But it does get a little tricky up here. So again, these ones, just perma-yellows. If you're in Thorny Lake, you are yellow. But now I need to change these, so we're going to make this THL West 1. And we're doing this for to go back. We're not going to go to the other end of THL yet. So, let's start setting things up. So, as before, ASYS 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And I already forgot numbers. Because I did this out of order. Alright. So ASYS 8 to ASYE 5. Oh wow, I thought we'd gone all the way through the playlist already. I guess one more. ASYS 6 to ASYN 8. 6 to ASYN 8. And this one can just go to 1. Or no, I guess that would be also 10. Yeah. Yes, it might be a little overly safe. ASYS4 to, I guess this will be DHLW2. Oh, music stopped. Did not tell it to loop. Back to the beginning! And I'm lazy, so I'm not going to set up the ones at Thorny Lake right now. Instead, let's go find our train and give these signals a quick test run. Still magically burning no fuel. I can't remember. Is there a sit feature? I don't think there is. So first we'll enter the next block. Make sure that the signals change the right color. Those are green. I'm realizing there's nothing saying red when I'm in this block. That's probably something we need to fix with these. I'm gonna have to ponder that some more. Oh, also... set up that the other way? Okay. Just making sure. They wouldn't have detected anything since the train was already in the block. So let's enter the next block. And we'll have some fun. We'll take the diverging. Take the diverging, we'll go up the Y, we'll use that for our test, and then we'll back into the station at Thorny Lake. And once we've done that, we'll call it a street. For work-related reasons, I have to be up kind of early tomorrow. Okay, you shouldn't be yellow. Probably screwed something up. Okay, but you're all red. That's right. Should have stopped being red. That's correct to be yellow, but why are those still red? Maybe I've still got some debugging to do. Okay, meanwhile, you are yellow, that is correct. So then when we get close, these two should go to red. Yep. And then after we've crossed that, it should go to red. Okay, those are green, that's yellow, that is correct. We're going to go the technically incorrect route to the station. Actually, let's reset it. We'll go the crossing. So those go to red. That one's yellow. That one's yellow. I can't tell if the other one's yellow. I don't think it is. Probably messed something up there. Now that's red. That's yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Okay. So that part is working. There's a few that aren't quite right. I'll have to go investigate those. Just drop these guys at the platform. get off? They got off. I don't know where they went. There's kind of a lot of places for them to go. And yeah, we barely made any money. So overall, I'd say this is pretty successful. I'm gonna go diagnose this switch. Could be it just didn't display right on the map. So this one was right. So that's 8 and 5. What's ASY 5? Did I undo one of these? Maybe I have an extra one somewhere? I don't know. Oh, ASY 5 could also be one of these ones. Which I'm not too concerned about. But in any case, we have largely sorted out our signal stuff. I think that's pretty good. And I think we're going to call it a night here. I have to be up a little early and I still have some stuff I want to get done tonight. So, thank you all for watching this stream. I hope you enjoyed it as always. Infinite Rails, it's still in development of course, but I do highly recommend it. Be sure to go check it out. It's available on Steam. Possibly on Epic Games, I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully take some time in between games to wrap up the signal work, figure out a couple things that didn't quite go right, get the ones at the end here working properly, maybe do some adjustments further up, maybe not, I don't know what I'm playing. One other thing to be aware of, I've recently started playing Minecraft and I'm getting a little obsessed with it, as I've been warned. At some point I'm hoping to get the Create mod and then we can do Minecraft trains, which that might also become a series, I don't know. That's kind of a nice thing about having a channel. If you don't really care about getting money, then you can kind of do whatever you want. So, no telling when Minecraft streams will start, no telling if they'll start, and also not sure on the next round of Railroader. I did find a cool mod recently called Roundhouse Research. Basically, you start with only the lowest tier equipment, and then you can research your way to more powerful equipment, and also just like faster speeds and more power in general, which seems kind of interesting. I might have to check that out. That could be the Season 2 of Railroader if I ever get around to it. And again, watch for a video releasing tomorrow on the Washington State History Museum's Model Train Festival. I spent 5 days there. I filmed for parts of 3 of them. I was with one of the clubs. You can try and guess which one. So, and then after that, I've got some plans for a couple more train shows coming up, so watch out for those. But until then, I hope you all have an excellent night and hope you had a good holiday season. So take care, and we'll see you next time.